This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Fire.
Yeah, physical game to open up with. Pretty sloppy game too, just for a lot of it. But I know you'll take a ugly win over an ugly loss. Just what do you think this type of game to start off the year did for y'all?
I think it gives us a ton of usable film. Like I said, when we scheduled this game, that was not the team that was that wasn't the roster that it was on their website when we scheduled this game a year and a half ago. You don't plan on opening a team against a team that's got 3 Power 5 guards coming in, So I'm glad that we have it now looking back. I wasn't really fired up about it leading in. And anybody that heard me talk the last 2 weeks, if y'all were paying attention, I tried to tell everybody, do not think that this team was the 348th ranked or whatever they had them at in the RPI or those early starting teams. That was the team from last year. And with the portal the way it is and the job that she does, we've known Coach Billerbeck since we recruited toll-free. So I knew what we were in for. I knew their guards were going to be like that, and we were prepared for it. I'm glad we got tested. Obviously, like I said, it's not the game we scheduled a year and a half ago. So I'm glad that we did survive it. Lots of mistakes down the stretch on time management, shot selection from some of our young kids, some of our new players that hadn't been in that situation. So we get a chance to coach. I do think this is a team that will be able to be coached through wins. I don't think it's going to take a loss to get their attention. So if somebody tries to drag me down, good luck, because it ain't going to happen. I'm ecstatic that we were able to get out of this we only turned it over 16 times in a game that had, okay, help me with the fouls. Is that 42? Is that right? 29 and 13. Only turned it over 16 times in a game that physical. The way we turned it over, we'll fix. Those are all fixable ones, and I think the shot selection will come with a lot of film work and a little bit of coaching.
And then talking about the transfers they have, you've seen Jacayla Johnson for a while now, but she got really hot in that fourth quarter. A lot of that's credit to her making plays. But what do you think, I guess, of the on-ball defense and sometimes too?
I thought she took every one of us. It was somebody different every time. I don't have one person I could point at and say it was her fault. She started hitting some incredibly tough finishes around the basket. The 4 shots that she missed, I thought were going in. She could have very easily been 17 of 17. Saylor changed her shot once or twice, and I think Sasha may have blocked another one. But no, she got in the zone, and then they're late. We lose her in transition, and I think we were up 8 or 9. And then the next thing you know, we're sitting there talking about 1-possession game. So she was, like I said, we saw her last year and knew and played Bradford down in the Virgin Islands. And I look at this roster. There's only, I think, 3 kids on their roster that were there last year. So it's a team that just pay attention to them. They're going to have a good year.
And then last thing for me is, felt like the only thing really slowing Talia down was the foul trouble early. What'd you think of her just in her first game, having the ability to score like that?
They're when you have Talia, Mack, and Sam out there, they're going to have to make a decision on who they put on who. And we felt like Sam had Talia had the best matchup to start. And I thought she got off to a great start. Drew 9 fouls, and you look over there now, they switched somebody off. Now Sam draws 10 fouls. I don't know if you can count that as a double-double, but, man, it's got to be something. 10 drawn fouls and 9 drawn fouls. That's 19 drawn fouls between the two. But Talia is made for that. That's why she came here. We didn't always know that we were going to have Michaela. When we signed Talia, we didn't know that Michaela was going to be here. But I said it in the press conference before the season. She earned her right to start by the way she defended. She can shoot it better than that. She'll be mad that she went 9 of 13 from the free throw line. And she'll probably go back and look at a couple of shots and say, I could have done better there. She's extremely good in the film room. Her and Mac and Sam have really gone from having to compete with each other in practice to now competing together and helping each other. So I'm anxious to see their continued growth. And I'm not going to go any further. I'm not going to let anybody wait to ask about Saylor getting 21 rebounds. I have a position goal, Saylor, with Sasha and with Christina, that I want them to get 17 rebounds a game between them. I didn't mean that it had to be an individual deal. I meant it was a group thing. But they got 21. Christina got 2 and Sasha got 7. So that's 28, 29. That's 30 rebounds. And that's an area that we've been trying to focus on improving on. and to win that battle like we did. They get 7 offensive rebounds, but 4 of those were dead ball ones. Those aren't live ball rebounds. So that's a pretty good job on the boards. We made improvement there.
Variation then.
Go. About Sailor?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
Obviously, she had some good efforts last year rebounding, but 21 in a game against Air is great. I mean, just talk about that a little bit more.
Well, she goes after all of them. You know, that's the first point. Not everybody goes after all of them. She hopes every one of them, she's going after it to get them. The other 3 offensive, she didn't very many offensive rebounds last year because of where we played her. But she has a desire to do it. She's got the toughness and the physicality to absorb the first hit and give the first hit sometimes. But I think it's just kind of who that kid is. When you've been around her family and you see how she's been raised, she's going to do tough things. And I don't want to have to play her 37 minutes a night. You know, I wanted to get Christina and I wanted to get Jenna in there, but I also don't want to put those guys in situations that they're not ready for yet. But Sailor kept saying she was fine. And I think she got tired one time in the third quarter. But other than that, she told me she still had some gas left in the tank. But, I mean, that's a hard thing to do to get. I mean, I had 21 rebounds my junior year. My whole year. Not in one game, the whole year. I obviously wasn't much of a rebounder, but that was the number I had. So it just puts it in perspective.
I saw Sailor make 9 out of 10 threes after the game last night in here. Do you think maybe the rebounding took a toll on her offense?
You know, for her, it's just seeing a few go in. You've seen it. You saw it during the 10 days of exhibition. Everybody else in this room has been at practices to know that the day's coming when she goes 5 for 5 or 4 for 5 from there. I thought she took one that was too far out. But somebody from the bench was yelling, shoot it, which is hard to not shoot it when one of your teammates yells, shoot it. But she can make it from out there. Her shot is something I have zero concern about because I've seen it go in. It hasn't gone in like she wants it to go in, I know, in games, but that time's coming. And if you can rebound, you're going to play. I mean, we've got to have that. And, there was a lot of those were tough ones too.
Coach, it seems like the past couple of years, first team coming out the gate had really good guard play and coming in getting 20, 30, 34 points. How do you think that's preparing the team moving forward, especially with how deep the SEC is?
Well, I mean, just look around. We know it's coming. I'm glad we've got a bunch of games, 14 more till we get there to figure out some schemes and some things because we are little when we play those 3 little fast ones. But I think for us, guard play in the beginning is always a little bit ahead of your post play for sure. I thought Miriam gave us good minutes. That's the most minutes I think extended that she's played. And I'm going to really test Kylie on this one. But I'm not so sure that Carly Keats didn't set an NCAA record for most free throws made as a designated free throw shooter. I mean, I don't know how you find that out. It may be just one of those rules that we just say it's a record and see if somebody can prove us wrong. But it just kind of kept happening. It was crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. That's another record to look up.
Also wanted to ask the players, how much y'all been implementing the press for them to press y'all. How do you think that really helped y'all get through those couple of minutes?
Good, because we haven't really sat down and said we have this press offense. We've been working against ourselves. I thought our press early maybe partly led to some of their foul trouble too. I think we got to their legs. Our strength and conditioning coach and their staff, we have dove into the analytics of the tracking that they use more than ever. And trying to give our kids enough practice to be able to play this number of minutes, but also to be able to recover. So, I think what we've done in the offseason prepared us for a night like that.
Last thing for me, of course, Sasha's return and her being able to come in. Just talk about that for a little bit.
Well, just to suit up and be back out is a win. It's a win to have a kid like that has been through what she's been through to come back out. I thought the crowd gave her a great ovation. And she's going to just continue to get more comfortable getting back in. It is so hard to take any time off, but much less that much. And I thought she gave us a big lift in lots of areas, and we'll just continue to get stronger and better every time we play again.
Speaking of crowds, there'll be a different type of energy in here on Friday.
Yes, it will be. Yeah, absolutely.
Like 7,000 kids are coming now or
That's
something like that.
That's what Elvis told me. And I'm going to go on a campaign starting tonight, probably tomorrow, because I'll wait. But if we had 2630 tonight, I hope we can get that back to put on top of that 7,300 and get a crowd of 10,000. We haven't had a crowd of 10,000 since a long time ago. And she's going to give you an exact date later on. It's been a while since we've had 10,000. So I'm going to implore everybody to take a early day off on Friday and get some earplugs. Brush up on your Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift and Katy Perry, and learn the hand signals for Baby Shark, because it's coming. Those students, Elvis and his team, have done an amazing job. I hope somebody has a little extra time on Friday to write the story about the number of people that volunteer to work our game on Friday. You're going to see head coaches out there. You're going to see high-level administrators out there with signs up saying which school they're leading in and out. The number of people it takes to pull off the traffic flow, Julie Kane and her team, y'all, it is not an easy thing to do. I don't know if the concession stand has enough caffeine to get these kids that are going to be out of school on a Friday, but it is really, truly, I've been starting this list of things you have to experience as a basketball player or coach or fan. The toilet paper game over at John Brown is one I've got on that list, but just go to any Kids Day. It doesn't have to be ours. Just go attend a Kids Day anywhere and just watch and the buzz and the sound. It's going to be, and just get ready. Murray State's another team that won 20 plus last year. I have a kid that'll be up for mid-major All-American awards. She's on a bunch of watch lists, so it'll be another game that'll be fun to watch. And our kids will cheer. Those kids will cheer for them as much as they do for us. That's one thing I've learned in my years. They don't necessarily know what's going on. They know they're out of school. They know that if they get back to, most teachers, what I've heard from is the rest of the day when they do get back from school is kind of a wash. So
I think Miriam told me the other day that she thinks somewhere along in there they don't realize who they're cheering for.
No idea.
Cheering and everything.
Oh no. They cheered last year when the other team scored. It's okay. It's all right. But don't miss the Baby Shark and the dance offs, because they are something to see.
Speaking of records and things like that, you had 44 free throw attempts tonight, which, funny enough, is the most since exactly a year ago today. Is that something like sustainable that you're looking for moving forward, or something that you've preached?
Was anybody in here for the chalk talk and before the game? I told everybody, I said, this is going to be a high free throw rate game, because we're going to drive it to the rim until they stop us, and we're going to get to that foul line. In our order, we want to shoot free throws, layups, and threes. And I'm going to go show them this stat sheet that says 5 for 30, because that just every time I look at the stat sheet of all the good stuff, the one thing that keeps jumping out at me is 5 for 30. So one of two things has got to happen. The first number's got to go up, or the second number's got to go down. One of the two. And tonight we took a few in transition that are going to keep me up tonight, but that's fine. We can teach, we can coach through that. I don't want to curb their excitement. We make more than that in practice. We'll carry it over at some point in time, but one of those two numbers has got to adjust a little bit. So, but the free throws I love, because it is what we always build around, is free throws first.
And then you had like a segment there in the second quarter where it seemed like nothing was going in for either team. I guess for a lot of new pieces that you're trying to phase into this, was that kind of, what was your message as that stretch was unfolding?
The message was to hang in there, because I felt like we were in better condition. I did feel like that. I knew we were tired too, but I kept looking over there going, they're more tired. So let's keep, rather than pull back and give them a chance to catch their breath, let's keep it going. And I think that did make a difference. Now, for us, finding the balance is going to be key for the rest of the way out, especially when, it's way, way too early to start thinking about the SEC season. Way, way too early. We've got too many good quality opponents and big games, but every game we scheduled helps us get better for somebody in our league. Now, this game, again, unintentionally, helped us get ready for a lot of teams in our league because of their depth, their experience, and their guard play.
And then last one from me, you had your two leading scorers tonight. I think one was making her college debut and the other had like 120 something starts. Just like, I guess what's it been like to see some of the older people like in game situation and communicate with the younger?
It's an amazing
girls?
question. Deep. I like that you came up with that. That's a good question. No, it was good. And I told Mac, and y'all can ask Mac about this later in the year, but Mac's legacy here, guys, it's already cemented. I don't care what anybody says. She's won more games than anybody. I know she's going to have played a 5th year, but she did it in her 4 years. But part of her legacy is going to be turning this thing over to Talia and Sam next year. You know, we've been using this NASA, and I talked to them about she's your pilot. You guys are co-pilots, and y'all got to learn from her. So her big legacy is going to be going in there and showing Sam a few things and Talia a bunch. But for the fact that they could be the two tonight that ended up the leading scorers, I think that's a really neat tidbit that I might not have caught if you hadn't have asked that question. So great question.
Lawrence, okay.
She's fine. Gonna start practicing tomorrow. Just walked out of the training room, and her and Emery both are going to get to start practicing tomorrow. We've been talking about a lot of depth. I didn't disclose a bunch of our injuries because I didn't want opponents to have it, but we'll get some of our depth back that allows us to press, I think, a little bit longer. I think we pressed probably 17 minutes tonight. We want to get that closer to 25. Lauren will be back in practice tomorrow, and Emery will be back with non-contact. So.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.